Hierarchically, historically, decisions and power and information have all been wrapped up in themselves as part of the system. From the integral thinking next stage organisations, we come all the way back to get really clear on your purpose, have solid wholeness practices that are looking after your people, and employ self-managed practices that allow you to devolve and distribute leadership. And trust is the foundation upon which it is all based.
We tried to crystallize what does that mean to us based on our experience, how can we put that to work. And so we wanted to be very deliberate about it and make it a kind of a main effort in addition to working on the science and the programs.
There was a partnership of equals, and it was really about co-creating what this pilot would look like and how this would run. So really at no stage did we ever feel that it was either appropriate to sell anything to anybody. It was a mutual decision through exploration.
We simply took them away and physically disconnected from the office space to create that physical difference in space, and began asking questions.
For us, we realised that we needed to do some extra developmental work with the group, and we did that by introducing an additional workshop where we spent 2 days, we called it the Integral Skills Workshop, and we spent 2 days teaching people around coaching skills and conflict resolution processes. So if you like, they had some more tools in the bag, and we also worked with that organisation. In fact, it's the group themselves that started to look at what kind of practices could we develop on an ongoing basis.
The leaders in infectious diseases created a very safe space, and we understood that actually we were in a good place to be vulnerable, and actually that vulnerability could lead to a lot of learning very fast. And a big concept that we like to adhere to is unconditional positive regard, which is just always to assume the best about the person that we are talking to or about a situation. I was able to take back with me, and also just felt more fulfilled in my working environment. Unconditional positive regard will work anywhere. It works in my relationship at home, it works with my 2-year-old, just approaching anything hoping for the best usually leads to a better outcome. So yeah, it's been positive in many areas.
So we did a survey of the infectious disease group after we had done some of the workshop, and then we took a sampling of, sort of a comparable sampling of the rest of the organization. Now the good news there is both were pretty high, but you could actually see some important differences in things like trust, in things like sort of the buy-in and engagement of the group compared to the rest of the organization, which is what you would expect based on the work that we've done, but it was nice to see it play out. I think one of the other things that we've seen is more on the output of the group, so on advancing the programs that we're working on and thinking about working on them in different ways. We've seen improvements in output. So we're with our lead program, we're three plus months ahead of schedule, and we've been able to do that with maybe about half the resource of a traditional program within the company. And I think you can draw a very direct line between the work we did on the organization to the output that we're seeing.
The leaders absolutely have to be on board, and that may include the board. So our philosophy effectively is create the space, make sure the leadership are with you from the start.
Trust in the journey and realize that every step actually is a step in growth.
Go for it, commit to it, be deliberate about it, learn as you go, and invest in it. It's the most important thing for a business, and I think if you understand that and you focus on the people, everything else will follow.
You get not only increased performance, you get a much more fulfilling place to be. It is no surprise to me that the top 50 places in the world to work are organisations that are stepping into this next stage thinking in one form or another.